Watch Paranormal Short Session 18 by Keith Evans at the Chestnut Street Cemetery. Today I'm going to be at the Wefing plot, spelled W-E-F-I-N-G. Yes, my paranormal YouTube channel is called Paranormal Short Sessions by Keith Evans. Also, check out my book, The Hayes House Ghost People 2, paperback online, ebook on Kindle. Now, today, I'm going to be talking to George Frederick Wefing. Mr. Wefing, sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. What did you like most about Apalachicola? And can you also, state your name, whoever answers for that question, just in case it's not Mr. Wefing.
Second, appellate.
All right. Second, S-E-C-O-N-D, and appellate, A-P-P-L-E-T. Does that mean you were part of the Second Appellate Court of Florida? And then they have the Second Appellate Court here in Apalachicola. That'd be my follow-up questions. Yeah. I always get my fingerprints all over the screen of the Ovilus 5B. Mr. George Frederick Wefing, do you have a question for me? And while I'm waiting for an answer, I will just say, you were born March 26, 1863, passed away August 25th, 1950. And it says here, no wrath now upon the Father's shore lands the voyeur at last. Well, I think that's what it says. If it says different than when I said, leave me a comment. Mr. Wefing, what was the thing that you liked least about Apalachicola? Mr. Wefing, do you remember your street address when you lived in Apalachicola? All right. Let's go over here and visit with, in loving memory of Elizabeth Josephine Hatch. Mrs. Hatch was born November 26, 1840, passed away 2nd July, 1923. Thou lost to sight, to memory dear. Mrs. Hatch, is there any question you'd like to ask me today? Mrs. Hatch, did you have a nickname? As you can see, these full grave cradles look like that they are from the period from, 1923 1950, 1946. So they look like they're from that period. Mrs. Hatch, when you passed away in 1923, was this grave cradle laid within a year after your death? I don't know if you can see that good or not. It's cloudy out today, and it's coming in better now. I got to turn towards the sun. Second and appeal it. See how cloudy it is. I'll do a 360 to show you. This is Elizabeth Josephine Hatch. What was your husband's first name? What was your father's first name? No, not getting much. All right, let's go over here to George Frederick Wefing's right is Estella Marks Wefing. Born 1868, passed away 1946. Looks like I got another word. Let me look at it, see if I can make it out. Cut, C-U-T. Cut it out. Cut it short. Cut to the chase. Cut, C-U-T. Alright, finishing up with the readings on Mrs. Wefing's full grave cradle. It says, Father, in thy gracious keeping, leave we hear thy servant sleeping. Rest in peace, Mrs. Estella Marks Wefing. Mrs. Wefing, do you have any advice for me? Mrs. Wefing, do you have any criticisms for me? Mr. Wefing, do you have any criticisms for me? Mrs. Hatch, do you have any criticisms for me? That's a very slow word day. It is a little bit breezy. You can see the tree over there moving a little bit, but not much. You can see it better here. Okay, I'm going to open this Paranormal Session 18 up to anyone who happens to be in the neighborhood who has the energy to manipulate my Ovilus 5B. As usual, I'm going to be using this on YouTube. The short videos will be used as promotionals for my YouTube channel, and that'll be on Facebook and Instagram. So, that's how I'm going to be using it. If you don't want your paranormal data or the paranormal information that you leave behind so we know that you're here, to be a part of that, then just don't respond. Don't make anything happen. Don't materialize, and don't utilize any words from my Ovilus 5B. Otherwise, we'll know you're here. So I'm going to go ahead and utilize the thermal imager. I hope since it's cloudy, it'll show up well on the video. Since I'm videotaping the screen of my FLIR C5 camera, and FLIR is spelled FLIR. When I write a book or something, people will criticize me. Oh, you spelled FLIR wrong. It's not spelled that way. That's the way the company spells it. Same way with the Ovilus 5. I don't know if I have a picture of the Ovilus 5, how they spell it or not. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, it's right down there in the corner. Let's see. I don't know if you can see that at home or not. It's small. But it's Ovilus and then 5. And the B is another clue to the certain model. I don't see any more words, do you? All right. Let's go back to my thermal imager. It looks like I'm getting some more words. Why is it when I put the Ovilus 5 away and not in front of the camera, I start to get words? I can hear them. Look like at least 3 more words. I missed the 4th one. Direction is spelled DIRECTION. Seek is SEEK, and position is POSITION. Direction, seek, position. Let's see if I can get this to come in. Direction, seek, position. Almost like they want grid coordinates from me. Well, I don't know the grid coordinates of where I'm standing. Let me just tell you that I'm in the southeast corner, or near the southeast corner of the Apalachicola Chestnut Street Cemetery. I'm near what they call Highway 98, which I think is also named 4th Street. If your suggestions, you have directions for me to seek a position. You're talking about a job position? You're talking about a position where I will be within the cemetery? All right, if you have a place that you want me to go within the cemetery, could you give me, the name of the person or the family plot or which corner or which location it's in? Is it near the front gate, the back gate, the southwest gate? Give me some clue of the direction for me to seek a position. Position could be your location, where you're standing, where you're going to complete your next paranormal session. Ghosts and spirits might know someone that's got energy and willing to utilize their energy on the Ovilus 5. Radio. Okay, radio. RADIO. Was that your favorite thing about Apalachicola? They had a radio station? Or you had a radio that you listened to? Okay. Was there a radio buried with you, your favorite radio? I just wondered, because you were talking about, direction and position, and you might be directing me towards your radio that you were buried with. Am I close, Mr. George Frederick Wefing? Some people are type of people that are of few words. And they may be asking me if I have a radio. They might want me to turn the radio on. Well, that would be a good trigger object. I guess I should invest in a small radio with a battery, because ghosts and spirits might come around to hear the concert. Even though it won't be a live concert, it'd just be you call me a DJ playing for the ghost in the graveyard. But that's probably would be a good thing. If the ghosts hate the music, then they might ask you to leave or tell you they don't like it. If they like it, they might, be happy. If I was a ghost of spirit, how many houses would I have to go to hear a radio? Most people, if they listen to music, they listen to it from the internet. At least I do. Okay. Any follow-up questions about the radio? Now, Mr. Wefing, if you were buried with your radio, 1950, you would have had a pretty primitive radio. Most of the radios back then were right large. So I would probably rule out that, because back then radios would need, they were about the size of a, large TV screen, flat screen TV, but they were not flat. They were square shape. So I think that would probably be next to impossible. I don't know if they had transistor radios that early or not. If they did, they were probably very expensive. So maybe Mr. Wefing could afford that. Is that what you're talking about, a transistor radio, Mr. Wefing? Now, Mr. Wefing or someone from his family, or even someone that is just here, when I invited anyone to talk, that might have been the thing they enjoyed when they were alive, was the radio. I know, my father, when he was little, the radio was their main form of entertainment. I don't know if they got a TV before my grandfather on the father's side passed away or not, but I know I don't think my grandparents on my mother's side had a TV until maybe the late 40s or early 50s. When they were big, heavy boxes, all picture tubes. All tubes, vacuum tubes type. There were no solid state transistors or anything like that. All right. Well, let me go back to the thermal image C5, FLIR C5 camera. It takes a little while for the FLIR C5 camera to initialize. I think I might have got another word. It was really low. Yeah, two more words. Things, ride, mark. Things is Things. Ride is RID. Mark, MRAK. So you're saying you like things that you ride, like a horse carriage or a wagon drawn by horses, or automobile, a tractor, motorcycle. Hi, Mark. My name is Keith Evans.
Music.
You like music, Mark? What type of music? Music is spelled MUSIC. Ride was RIDE and Mark was MARK. Mark, what type of music do you like? Mark, are you related to Mrs. Hatch or Mrs. Wefing or Mr. Wefing here? Mark, is your last name Wefing? If not, could you give me your last name, please, Mark? My last name is Evans. It's spelled EVANS. If you heard that, could you use the Ovilus 5 to say my name back? Keith Evans. Well, let's go back to the C5 camera and try to get some of that on film before we get any more words. That's George Frederick Wefing's grave cradle, purple. Go to the right to Mrs. Estella Marks Wefing's grave cradle, which is purple. You see the ground around it is the grass is yellowish color. Maybe a little orangish in the middle there between the two grave cradles. And to George Frederick Wefing's left, we have another grave cradle, which seems to be warming up on us. It's a lighter purple, but you can see the yellow and orange grass around it. There you go. Yeah, the grave cradles are going to hold in the cool night, and it's cloudy, so they're going to stay purple longer. It's going to need direct sunlight on them to warm them up. So that's not, I don't see anything paranormal here. I'll look around the area and see if I spot any cold spots that I think could be a ghost or spirit utilizing heat from the environment. A lot of times the shade from a tree or that area or a green bush that might have some moisture on it is going to appear to be cooler. The back of a tombstone is in a shaded area. It's going to appear to be cooler. I don't see anything that I would question as being paranormal or unexplained. You have like a little palm type tree there, which is green. They hold in a lot of water. See if I can find it again. There we go. No, that was... I think what we're looking at is that there. So I'm going to turn the FLIR FLIR C15 thermal camera off. Try to keep my fingerprints off the screen. I think we've got a couple more words. Very low, very light. 3 more words. Let's see what those words are.
Bishop. Scan.
Grid, bishop, scan. I just missed 2 of the words. Grid, GRIND. Bishop, BISHOP. Scan, SCAN. They're still talking about like a grid coordinates, Bishop scan. Somebody named Bishop, or that's their title, Bishop or whatever, is scanning a grid. So that sounds more like ancient alien type territory. Maybe grid. I want to scan my grid coordinates. It's the only thing I can think of. Usually a grid is assigned to a map. Maybe they're trying to want me to go to a bishop who's buried here. I'd asked earlier where my next location, where should I go, that